I do the introduction?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Onesies, a podcast where Emily just made me watch Maximum Bob. My name's Andrew.
My name's Emily. Welcome to season 22 of Onesies. Woo! We are starting out with the pilot episode of Maximum Bob, starring such notables as Beau Bridges, Liz Vassy, Sam Robards, Kirsten Warren, and more. Beth Grant is back in the house.
Oh, yeah. Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Who plays the magical slave girl who narrates from the beginning, except when she's going to voice, when white people are going to do her voice or something, lip sync it? Who plays her?
Yeah, she is played by somebody for sure. Because we do see her. Raven Larrymore Kelly plays Wanda Grace. She's
still working, according to Wiki, so she made it. She fucking made it.
She's
her.
Been in a few things, but it looks like she was in Hannah Montana in 2006.
Writing something right now. I don't think many of these people have what we will call, well, we'll get to it with Liz Vassy. She's still very active, but she never tried to do movies. So she just she started in soaps and she does TV, some TV movies, some direct to streaming, but she's been doing web series for years and shit.
Wow.
Very active and apparently not problematic. I ran an interview with her through something, and because I feel like this season is going to be discussing acts of extreme misogyny directed at Liz Vassy, who will smile and pat the man on the shoulder.
Or, as we see in this episode, upon meeting her, commit crimes against law officers and get away with it. So,
fuck yeah.
I mean, yay, but in the real world, she would be dead or disabled and in jail.
Yes, we're so lucky we get to discuss the harms of portraying rednecks as not dangerous in popular media.
Yeah,
because just a show. So let's kick it off for us.
Yeah, so we start with a very bizarre scene. Can I tell you that when I started watching it, I was like, is this a commercial for something? What is this?
A commercial for blowjobs? Yes, it might be a commercial for blowjobs.
So
ABC, Disney, family television. This is a post, the description said it was like Twin Peaks, Emily. This is not like Twin Peaks.
No, it is not like Twin Peaks. So let me start off by saying that this TV show is based on a novel by Elmore Leonard. If that lends any credibility to it at all, I don't know. But we start the episode by meeting not Liz Vassy, but Leanne Gibbs before she marries the judge. That is questionable. I don't know. But she is working as a mermaid at a local aquarium
in Florida. In
Florida, maybe.
Well, he's going to drive her back to Miami at the end, and she drives from Miami. So.
Okay, I thought it was up near the Panhandle. I thought that's where it was supposed to be, but I don't know. But she's working as a mermaid. There's lots of scenes of beautiful, scantily clad women swimming around in underwater, doing various activities, including giving somebody eating a banana. And
drinking a Coke from a glass bottle. Emily, if you just wanted to watch this woman be objectified, you could have just watched her play a stripper at Independence Day.
Okay, I'll watch Independence Day again. I don't remember that scene.
I had to look it up, but
that's okay. We'll see her we'll see her in underpants again later.
And
Um,
she'll be really wet for lots of it, and she'll be in
yeah.
her underpants for a while, 7 minutes possibly. Continue.
She is the there's a voiceover kind of describing her, and it is the voice of Raven Larry Moore Kelly, um, just describing this woman. And as we're watching, as we're listening and learning about her, we see her doing a trick underwater. A shark gets loose. I don't know.
Alligator.
Oh, is it a gator? Okay, it's an alligator. Thank you. An alligator gets in the tank and she's trying to swim away, but her oxygen tank that she breathes from is not attached to her body, but it's kind of off to the side. It like floats away somehow, and she we find out suffers brain damage, I guess. That once she's revived, she has magical powers and can speak to ghosts. And I think that's when we discover that Raven's character, I can't remember the name of the character now, is
Wanda June, I believe.
Wanda something, is actually Wanda Grace is actually a ghost and is in direct communication with Leanne. We find out later.
And the thing about her being a slave who died as a child in this place, right after the characters were discussing her using.
And she dies before the Civil War breaks out. I think they said 1855, right?
Something like that. Hey, how would you describe the dialect she uses for speaking her voiceover about these white
I'm
racists?
Not a linguist, so I can't speak to that. How would you describe it?
Trying to appeal to to white people who really like Quentin Tarantino movies. In 1998.
So this is setting up what I assume is going to be, oh God, I can't say it. A magical character who is.
Oh, you can't say it? Yes. You are making us watch a movie with a magical Negro. You are making us watch a movie with a magical black lady who is a fucking dead little girl who there is a 70% chance his backstory is she was raped to death.
Okay. Yes. So cut away from that. We find out more about Leanne. She is now a spiritual person who can speak to ghosts and is very kind of hippy dippy, and she does tarot and she talks about energy fields and whatever. But she marries Judge Bob Gibbs.
There's a Gibbs. Okay, why did I think it was Gibson? Anyway,
it's close. She marries Judge Bob Gibbs, played by Beau Bridges, and we are led to believe that there is some intention, some larger reason she needs to marry this guy. That the little dead black girl has told Leanne she needs to. Okay.
And the audience. She has a greater purpose. So we then are going to open on the present day with Liz Vassy arriving in town and being pulled over by guest star Garrett Dillahunty, who I believe is for a white guy. I think the one time I looked him up, he was fine. But he is, you've seen him. He is in, he was a regular on Fear the Walking Dead. He was in 88 episodes of Raising Hope. He's going to be in the upcoming Lantern series. He also started on soap operas. We're just going to go through really quick. He was in No Country for Old Men, too. Okay, going through really quick. he pulls her over, asks her for a bribe, then threatens to rape her. And she gets his gun away from him and shoots at him and says, my brothers are both Miami-Dade sheriffs, and my daddy's like a Texas Ranger or something. And,
Yeah.
give me back my car keys and it's over. It is 1998. We are watching this show. Thank you, Emily. Is less woke than going to extremes.
You can
Thanks.
thank Mr. Emily because
Which I think he did to fucking prank us.
I think he did it to prank you, sir.
Or this explains everything about him, since he was 5 years old when this came out in 1998, and this would have impressed greatly on a young mind.
He has never seen it. He did not watch this with, so maybe the next time. I know. He just saw the premise and was like, Andrew will hate this. You should watch this.
Cool. Then we get the opening credits.
Yes.
Which is going to establish Sam Robards is in the show, which then again made me wonder, is Sam Robards Jason Robards' son? He is, in addition to being Jason Robards' son, he's Jason Robards' son with Lauren Bacall. So he is a interesting Nepo baby, because his first big break was on Get a Life playing a jackass. So
that's weird.
Yeah. But he is going to be playing a Southern man, but not a redneck Southern man. And, he's a bit of a soulful fellow, we'll find out by the end of the episode.
He's an interesting guy. You had mentioned maybe, I don't know, before we started recording, maybe now, I don't know, that this was a little compared favorably to Twin Peaks. I can see it with his character a little bit, but we've only seen one episode, because he is like, while when we meet him, we have also met several other local characters, and they're all stereotypical big dumb rednecks, and they get even worse after we meet him. While when we meet him, we find is learning how to do ballroom dancing. He's a little bit more refined.
And he also
what?
He also does not question Liz Vassie's
right
account of events, apologizes to her profusely for her attempted sexual assault, and promises to reassign the officer in his employ.
Right.
Because it's 1998, and
we don't
Democratic Party's platform was it still might be that. Okay, so she gets to town. Before meeting him, she is going to run into she is behind a funeral procession where two rednecks with Coke bottle glasses, pin in that, are holding on to the coffin, which is too big because someone has died, and that person was a literal giant.
And the whole family is a giant. They say that coffins have not been made big enough for this family of giants. So the funeral procession is moving very slowly. She asks them where to find the sheriff, and they direct her to the police station, but more likely some other location.
Locale.
Yeah.
The ballroom dancing place.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get the Elmore Leonard thing. It's kicking around in my head and I want to clear it out.
Yeah.
So Elmore Leonard I believe he's dead.
I believe he's dead.
He wrote crime novels, sort of hip crime novels. I'm not sure how hip they were, but in 1995, the big breakthrough adaptation was Get Shorty, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. A great film. I just recently watched it.
With music by John Lurie.
Yes, it is a 90. It is, one of the highlights of the 90s.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's production company then started just making a bunch of Elmore Leonard productions, including they produced Jackie Brown, which I don't think she's black in the novel, so it's a weird adaptation. And I think it's the only one Tarantino had anything to do with. But there was also Out of Sight, which is the George Clooney slash Steven Soderbergh sort of breakthrough. And then there were TV shows, including this one, but also one of those brilliant but canceled called Karen Cisco, which eventually featured a cameo from Michael Keaton in his Jackie Brown thing, because Jersey Pictures was thinking about making an Elmore Leonard connected universe. I'm fairly certain there were a couple more adaptations that fizzled out theatrically, and it's basically not a thing anymore. Elmore Leonard is in the who's the guy who wrote LA Confidential? James Ellroy. There were these crime writers who either died and stopped working or stopped working. And after high profile adaptations that were meant to cross them over, they basically fizzled in the mainstream after their big adaptations were made. It's very strange, and it just goes. I believe it is a commentary on the sort of that there is a popular reading culture or something that is not based in any way on the quality of the content. Moving on. So this is one that I had never heard of. I've never heard of the fucking book. I've never read an Elmore Leonard book. I'm fairly sure I wouldn't like them. I don't think they're supposed to actually be like, I've never heard anybody say they're good. Like,
I mean, it's something that I feel like people my parents' age, my parents' age, would like devour. They'd be like, new Elmore Leonard out, blah, 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 and then read it and be done with it, and then read Michael Connolly or I don't know, somebody else.
Yeah.
So yes, I've never read one either. I'm not a big crime novel fan, although I do love Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. But that's slightly more nonfiction. Anyway, so Liz Vassy shows up at the dance studio where she sees the Sam Robards as Sheriff Gary Hammond ballroom dancing with himself. He mistakes her for the dance partner that he ordered from a dance studio. From Miami.
Gotta be close.
And she's too tall. He doesn't like to dance with tall women. She throws a set of keys at him and says, you got a man in a trunk of his car on Route 40 or whatever. You better go get him before it gets too hot. And he dies in the trunk of his car. And then she, in legalese, says, he tried to bribe me. He tried to assault me. And so I took care of him. You better, there better be consequences for this because I'm only in town for 6 hours and I need to make sure something happens. And he agrees. This is when, like you said, he's like, oh, what an idiot. I'm going to put him on the desk. He's not going to get fired because where is he going to find a deputy who's not going to do that type of thing in town, right?
Can't do it to the classic games.
And yeah, you can do it to the townies, not to anybody who's from out of town. And she, I don't know, she gets a little tough. She's being like aggressive city gal, and he finds that rather becoming. And as she is leaving, his dance partner comes in, and it's an older woman who is significantly shorter than her.
Liz Vassy's 5'9", but I would guess that they got somebody who is like 5 foot.
Yeah, just for the gag. And that's that. So we're setting up some chemistry between the two of them. And Andrew's being weird. I'm glad this isn't a video podcast. We set so we're setting up some chemistry between the two of them, which will come back at the end or near the end. And then we cut to the jail. She's a public defender meeting with her client who had one beer apparently and got drunk and I don't know, ran over a stop sign or something.
Yeah.
It was one, he is underage. Two, it was in direct violation of his parole. She is trying to get him a deal where he has to spend time in county jail, even though what he did would give him a year in the state pen. She wants to cut him a deal. So she talks these. Okay, so I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what their relationship is to one another. Why is
boyfriends?
Are they boyfriends? That's what I thought.
They are boyfriends who met in prison.
Okay, they never explicitly say that.
They do not, because it's Disney.
But that's what I thought. Okay, very progressive. They were both on the main IMDb page, but when you go to the specific episode, they're not. So he was Sonny Dupree is this character who's going to go to jail. The boyfriend is one of the Crow brothers, but Dirk and Bogart, I think, are the twins. And then Elvin. It's Elvin Briscoe, Elvin Crow and Sonny Dupree. And they're kind of fighting like a married couple in front of this lawyer. Elvin does not want Sonny to go to prison, can't spend time without him. Because let's be fair. Sonny is a attractive younger man. Elvin is a typical looking redneck, chubbier guy. Yes. So perhaps Elvin, it's not stated, is concerned that Sonny will find a new boyfriend if he goes back to prison. Whatever. You're about to say something.
I'm looking at the IMDb page. I'm looking at the rating for the show. And then I'm looking at the description of Northern Exposure meets Twin Peaks. Call it a high-budget cult classic. This is not a high-budget show. Okay, moving on to their discussion. We get a bunch of the lawyer talk. It's kind of padding, like there's gonna be some law talk in the episode, but didn't Sonnenfeld do? No, Jonathan Lynn did My Cousin Vinny. This is less sensical law talking than My Cousin Vinny. This is like this would be confused by a Perry Mason TV movie, because we're going to get to the courtroom where we meet Beau Bridges. He is going to pretty quickly be very peculiar. There's a throwaway line about Elvin holding Liz Vassy accountable, like he'll kill her if she fucks up. That will get referred to later with Elvin going, that's a stupid fucking detail. Why did we include that? The guy who wrote this is not very good at the writing of stories.
And we're not talking about Elmore Leonard necessarily.
We don't know.
Yeah,
definitely Alex Ganza and Barry Sonnenfeld. Yeah, man. You made what's it called right after this? Wild Wild West. I think, high on your own supply, Barry. High on your own supply. Because this is not fucking quirky. It's really strangely not quirky because it hates the rednecks too much. It's very we'll see what they do with Liz Vassy, but it is looking down its nose at its cast in a very strange way. Not in a strange way, actually, not at all, but in a bad choice for 1998, a bad choice for, this is a post-Tarantino movie, but it's also a post they tried making Carl Hayes and stuff, right? Like they tried doing crime work. We had crime black comedies that were successful. Like that was sort of the whole deal of the 90s, was to try to do, you know, a little bit more mainstream of a Pulp Fiction, basically. That's why Pulp Fiction was such a big, like, so significant.
Yeah.
This, despite everybody having seen that shit or made it, this is a fucking, like, is the real version supposed to be Jeff Bridges? Like, was it supposed to be his TV show or something? Because I'm glad you said that Mr. Emily wanted to just upset me, because this is the type of show that if I'd suggested that to my wife, she would be like, why the fuck would you want to watch that? And why the fuck would you want me to watch that? Because we are going to get this asinine courtroom scene where Beau Bridges comes out and talks to the defendant at the desk.
Wait, before that, he introduces himself to Liz Vassy and spends an awful lot of time, because she's from Miami, assuming that she's Cuban.
That's right.
Trying to speak Spanish to her.
Yes.
And calling her essentially a fiery Latina.
Yes.
How
did I forget that?
I don't, because, you can only hold so much of this.
So just talking about the quality of this scene from Academy Award nominee, I'm sure, for editing. Barry Sonnenfeld edited for the fucking Coen brothers. Like, this show should be as quirky as Addams Family. It should be as good as Addams Family values. I'm sorry to put all that on Barry, but the courtroom scene is played like everything behind Liz Vassy, the court. You brought up Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. One of the things about that as a courtroom drama was that they focused a lot on the people in the courtroom.
Yeah.
This isn't new to television, right? Like we've been doing this since the 1960s, if not earlier. There have been lawyer shows that acknowledge that there's a procedure to the courtroom. This does not establish any of that, which is very strange because that is the point of the scene. Instead, very quickly, Beau Bridges does what honestly could be a very peculiar Judge Judy bit from like Beau Bridges on Later Than Saturday Night or some shit. Like, it's the other lawyer doesn't talk. Continue.
So
your show, I forgot.
So she is laying out her case, trying to get him, a lesser sentence.
There's a deal with the DA.
Who again says nothing. And Beau Bridges walks around, interrupts her, insisting to see this kid's teeth. He looks at the kid's teeth and says, I knew it, crime is genetic. But then instead of talking about any crimes committed by this person's family members in the past, talks about the crime that he himself had committed, which was attempted robbery or something, where a woman died, not because she was shot, but because she had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because of the shock of the incident happening in front of her. And the kid is like, that wasn't our fault. Like, we didn't kill her. I was not put away for murder. And the guy's like, whatever, you're going to prison and you're going to get the electric chair. Which is shocking to everybody in the room. Well, maybe not everybody in the room, because I think there's an applause or something. Like,
there's applause multiple times throughout the scene, but we never get to see the people who are applauding.
Right.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I doubt in the Elmore Leonard novel, the courtroom scenes included lots of clapping.
So clearly, because of the applause and because of the just the antics, his antics, which is like straight out of like, I mean, Ally McBeal. Like this is an Ally McBeal judge, right? Just somebody who does something quirky. Isn't there a character in that who's like obsessed with people's teeth? I think there is. So like this is something from Ally McBeal, except maybe not conservative. But this to me, this read like a ploy for him to create a spectacle, right? Like he knows he's going to create a spectacle. And so not to spoil anything, but later on we're going to go to his house and there are going to be a bunch of reporters and he is maybe trying to get elected to public office. And he's got a campaign manager or something with him telling him, like, don't bring it up. Don't bring up the gubernatorial seat. We want them to bring it up. If they mention it, you can talk about it. But we don't want people to think that you're hot to go. And in my mind, I was like, if any of those courtroom reporters from Florida, any big city in Florida, went to this small town and saw what he did, I know Florida's a pretty shitty place, but somebody would be like, I don't think that's right. Like, that doesn't seem like a fair sentence. That does not seem like it is so wild and inappropriate. Anyway, that does not happen. He gets to get away with whatever he wants to. So after there's a kerfuffle in the court and Elvin is upset and his boy toy is upset as he's being let out and yelling at at Liz Vassy. Liz Vassy is mad and she leaves the courtroom and she goes into the judge's chambers. Now the judge, oh boy, Bob is a piece of work. I was not expecting him to be as horrible as he was because I guess I missed the note that he was separated from his beautiful young wife, but he turns the charm on, and Liz is not having any of it. He invites her to dinner at his house. I feel like he does more than that, and I don't remember exactly what, but he's using language that is very loaded with sexual intentions. Yeah, it's really, really heavy. And it was pretty gross to watch. However, she puts herself together better than anybody should. She points out that he has a picture of his wife on his desk. And when she says no to his dinner invitation, he calls a bailiff in to hold her in contempt of the court, which again, she is a lawyer and she is from the big city. She should know that he can't do that just because she turned down a dinner invitation. What do I know? I mean, 1998, we're deep into 90s feminism and everybody's aware of sexual harassment shit in the workplace. Like, this is whatever, suspension of disbelief. So she goes, yes.
I saw a social media post where somebody's like, the reason I can suspend my disbelief for the 10 Jurassic Park movies is because at no point, because it has the realism of at no point did the US government ever fucking put any legislation on them. Okay, so we then cut to jail where she is put in a cell next to Beth Grant, who informs her that she's been there for 6 months for no reason, and the judge will keep her there forever, but it's okay because you can get your teeth fixed, you can get free glasses, you can get your hair done. It's like, you don't need health care, you just need to go to jail.
There's a nod to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Miss Clinton. Okay, so we find out that she's the mom of the family with the big guys, and Elvin is related to them. They all have the same glasses, including her husband, because he is her brother. But then we cut to the press conference where we see the judge with the prosecutor, solidifying that conspiracy.
And also, we see him interacting with his wife for the first time.
Yes. So they interview him. They quickly get fixated on her, and she starts talking her psychic talk, embarrassing him.
He sends her away.
He sends her away, but she is very complimentary to him. She is talking of him as a man of destiny and such. She sends him away. He quickly is like, hey, thanks for coming here without anybody asking you or whatever, and goes into the house, yells at her. We do not see that scene because the show is not going to be courageous in its classism and misogyny. So we then cut to the jail where she's getting let out because the sheriff paid her bail. This is where we get some background on the judge. Not a lot, but it's okay because the punchline of the scene is Liz Vassy saying, well, it is pretty impressive an old guy like that's as horny as he is. I am complimented. We then cut to, hold on, I sort of have a synopsis. Let's see here. So we then cut to
they go into the office, right?
Oh God, yes. So then we go through the old lawyer. She needs a place to work. We go through the old lawyer that we will find out is the guy who died in the first scene. His funeral procession was in the first scene. Again, your prologue is with the guy who dies or something. Like, this is not hard. They've done this show before. Possibly not without as many blowjob references since Disney bought ABC, but this show has been done many times before.
Yeah.
So we don't cut. We walk through the House of Mourners into the office where Liz Vassy has to work with the coffin in there all day. Okay.
And it's because this guy wanted to spend his last night on Earth above ground at work.
Sorry. This actually comes after the strip club scene.
Oh, we forgot the strip club scene.
So we have a strip club scene that makes the one in Beverly Hills Cop, which Emily promises to watch, seem classic. Okay. So Beau Bridges is hanging out at the strip club. He talks to William Sanderson on the phone, we'll find out. We know this because his name is Dickie, and Dickie is the name of Beth Grant's husband, has been established. Now, Dickie is supposed to put a dead alligator in the judge's backyard to scare the wife. This conversation the whole thing was so gross that I missed the dead part. So this is because the judge says, I don't care how you killed that thing. Your wife will get out when you take care of mine. And it sounds like killer.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to kill her.
Instead,
and maybe it's purposeful because of the scene later when Elvin shows up with a gun. I was like, oh, well, he's there to kill her. No,
because he tells the boyfriend that he's going to go and take care of the judge.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I missed that.
The pizza man plan. So, okay. We kind of are going to be able to hurry it up because at some point the scenes are going to get longer. So Kirsten, whatever her name is, can be undressed for longer because Emily fucking wanted some fucking what were the ratings? M17 or whatever. We gotta do this can't be for teenagers. It's gotta be really exciting for whoever's watching ABC. Okay, so oh my god. We cut to Liz Vassy. We cut to the jail. We're gonna have a scene in jail where he's talking to the boyfriend who's in jail, who's worried about dying. Again, it could have been a good scene. It was not, but also we establish that Elvin's got a plan to take care of the judge called Mr. Pizza Man because it's not really Liz Vassy's fault. Why would I kill her? We cut to the office. Liz Vassy's done working. She peeks in the coffin. There's a live alligator. She runs out screaming. The brothers come down the stairs. Again, did not think anything of it being alive. Okay. So we are then going to cut to the house where the judge's house where the Leanne is dressed initially, right? Because she strips.
I think she's in a robe. She doesn't strip. I think the gator gets her robe and pulls it off of her. Which is hilarious. Not the robe coming off, but the gator chase is so stupid. It made me laugh so hard.
Cool.
Unintentionally funny.
Okay. From the director of Men in Black. Worldwide box office sensation Men in Black. Barry Sonnenfeld. Have some self-respect, sir. Okay, so
2 Razzies for Wild Wild West. So come on.
He proved himself not that incompetent. Subsequently, not as incompetent as Wild Wild West. Okay, so so the gator chase, it eats the dog. We get a fair amount of, their attempt at humor, I think. Like, watch Raising Arizona once, fucker. You cut it. Like, you cut that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna run, get all wet, be scantily clad. Elvin shows up with pizza box and a gun. He's like, "Hey, Judge, here's your pizza. Now let him go," or something like that. Goes to the house.
He hears her screaming and runs to help her. She's standing on a table or something in her lingerie. Like, this isn't even like panties and a bra. This is like lingerie. It's garter. It's everything. Like,
dare you to find me a show other than, I don't know, maybe Sisters, where all women did not wear this kind of underwear on television in 1998.
Well, I mean, we do wear it in real life, so just all the time. Your wife doesn't?
I mean, obviously she does.
Obviously.
Yes, obviously. So. And I crawl around on the floor so I can get a low angle shot like Barry made sure to get, because this is a show for men. This is a taste.
Passion project for Barry.
It is a passion project for Barry. So they have an interaction after he scares off the gator. He doesn't shoot it. He gives it the pizza, which leads to...
okay, so I had a lot of questions about this. A gator's not going to go for a pizza.
Okay.
A gator's going to go for something that's alive and moving because they like the hunt. They are apex predators. They can run, it turns out. I didn't think they could run very fast. 11 miles an hour. Like, it's for short distances, right, but they can run 11 miles.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, she can
outrun that. Believable.
I was like, she can outrun that gator. The only problem is if she falls into the water, and then she falls into the water. Yeah. But she gets out before it can get her. And it climbs out of the water very easily. That was also not very realistic. But anyway, she doesn't get caught. She doesn't get eaten. It's not going to go after a pizza. Like, pizza's delicious, but it's not gator food. Whatever. The scenes, though, of the gator running were hilarious when it was clearly just like maybe some like minor robotics on the front of a gator being pulled by a dolly or something. It was so fucking stupid. Andrew, it was so funny.
So then we get to the gator trying to get the pizza, which I think they probably got, convicted sex offender Doc Anton to supply a trained gator who like was going to look at a pizza box. It's terrible, like high budget my eye. This was the work, like the cuts between the actual kitchen and wherever the fucking vet's office where they filmed the gator. Like it sucked. It
Yeah.
was funny. It
And
was so
maybe
bad.
I'm misremembering it, but I feel like it was shot from like directly above. Like
Yes.
you were getting an above shot of the
Yes.
pizza and the gator moving toward. It
And
was so weird.
I don't think the pizza box was in the same position in the next shot. Like,
Yeah.
it was, Barry wasn't working that day. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the woman's like, hey, why are you here? And he's like, well, I'm here to kill your fucking piece of shit husband. And she's like, you can't do that. And so he kidnapped.
So he kidnaps her and said, I've got a better idea.
Okay. Now we cut to Liz Vassy and Sam Robards in the office because she went to get him. All that's in the coffin is the dude face down. Sam Robards thinks she's like he's not saying she's crazy,
Right.
but like he's kind of in a, well, what do you want me to do? I'm a heartfelt Southern boy, and I think ladies should have job jobs for a while. But and she's like, I'm telling you, there was a gator, and he's like, well, and then he gets a call. There's a fucking gator attack.
Yes.
We go to the judge's house where the judge's and attempted rapist deputy is.
And three other guys. I don't remember.
Yes. On the radio, he says to call animal control. If that's I think animal control, at one point he says that deputy rapist is on animal control. So that's why that guy's dressed like he's fucking Steve Irwin.
I will say that if animal control's not there, it makes more sense that they're shooting the alligator, because my understanding is you only kill an animal like that if it's tasted human blood, because it will go back for more. But I could be completely wrong. It is the South also, but they try to wrangle the gator before they kill it. They try to displace it, put it somewhere else.
Instead, they're just shooting it. It's not killing it.
It's not dying. Yes. Which I think is interesting that they say, like they put 6 shots into it before anybody else even showed up.
The judge did.
The judge did. Yeah.
The judge and Liz Vassy will be civil to each other in the scene, which is a choice. It will make sense once we find out how Liz Vassy operates. But did you miss the resolution of the court case?
I guess.
Oh my God. Okay. Thanks. I get to cover a lot. Thank you. So, the judge is trying to keep them from investigating, but then they're like, where's your wife?
Yeah.
And so, but Sam Robard shoots it once in the head and kills it. So then we're gonna cut to the hostage situation,
or is it the house? At the house,
the house, the
Beth
Red
Grant
house is after the hostage situation.
Okay,
because we get this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. We get Barry Sonnenfeld's Black Snake Moan, or whatever that movie's called. Elvin's got her tied up in a
cabin somewhere.
Yeah, on the rivery swamp. It's not much of a swamp, it's rivery. That was a reference to an earlier thing we didn't cover, where the boyfriend is upset that he doesn't live on a lake, he lives on a swamp. Okay, so they have a long scene.
It's a long scene. I forget what they're talking about.
She's helping him spell. She's then possessed by Wanda Grace. We then establish that Wanda Grace is the dead slave girl. Elvin refers to her as he refers to her possessively, not passively, as a person of color. There we go. That's how we'll say that. Okay.
Good.
So you rearrange that sentence and you get the vibe. Leanne's not upset by that characterization. But Elvin is convinced not okay with her being possessed. She then will get some duct tape over her mouth for Barry Levinson's very particular
Barry
um,
Sonnenfeld.
Barry Sonnenfeld's very particular kink. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um. So then we get. She has like a psychic seizure, and it scares Elvin. The roof comes off, and we see a shuttle go over, which means nothing because this is a great show. And so then Elvin escapes on the airboat. We cut
Right.
then to Beth Grant, William Sanderson, his parents, and his two brothers, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They all have the glasses, which is how we meet William Sanderson. Sheriff and Liz Vassy pull up. William Sanderson does a whole bit, which is for the ATF about being a free man on the land. Sheriff's like, it ain't me, it's just a good old boy. And it's just me, the good old boy. And
hilarious because, like, if you're a sovereign citizen, you don't recognize a sheriff either. Like, it's not just federal agents you don't recognize.
Guess what? When they were trying to normalize that shit, they totally did that in the 90s. Remember, it's Blue Lives Matter until you get pulled over driving in your car without a license plate, and then, okay. So we then get a scene where Beth Grant comes out in a gas mask. It's not the ATF, it's just the sheriff with Liz Vassy. Liz Vassy's like, hey girl, what's up? They have a talk where we will eventually get the William Sanderson revealing the judge's plan, which involved the dead alligator. We will also get some information about how Beth Grant was kept in jail, I believe. Or not, doesn't fucking matter. But the scene is gonna gets interrupted by Elvin arriving on the airboat. He falls in. Hey man, John Ritter would have done a much better fucking job.
Yeah.
Bit of physical comedy. You know what? John Ritter would have done a much better job as Maximum Bob in some ways too. Beau Bridges is too capable an actor, but he's not willing to give the judge any quirks.
Right.
He's not willing to own a character who is like this in a way, and somebody else who would be, you might get something else out of it. Like,
yeah,
who knows? But again, maybe Jeff Bridges. So moving on. They're like, hey, where's the girl? Where's the wife? He's like, you don't want her. She's got fucking psychic powers. And they're like, you better tell us. Cut to the funeral?
I think so, yeah.
So we get the funeral. Sam Robards is given the eulogy right after his wife died. Judge made him start ballroom dancing because even though he's dancing with some hired lady out of Miami, some hired little lady out of Miami, it's his wife he's really dancing with. Which
and the whole time Liz Vassy is looking on, and you can see her warming to him a little bit more. He's showing a little bit of vulnerability, and she is enjoying that.
Yes. The judge waves at her. Mind you, she is out on bail at this point. It's very weird. And she waves at him back. They do a little cute wave at each other. It's silly.
Gross.
Then after the funeral, Liz Vassy goes up to him and is like, hey, dude, you kept extending Beth Grant's jail time to convince her husband to put a dead alligator in your wife's backyard. And I've got the proof. And he tries to call to have it burned. And she's like, I've already got photocopies. And he's like, well played, Missy. And she's like, hey, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give my client a fair sentence, and presumably my contempt's going to go away. And also, you're going to help out with Elvin. And he's like, I can't help out with Elvin. She's like, oh, I think you can. So I was fucking waiting for that to come back as something. It never does. It comes back. Oh, you didn't see it. Okay.
I didn't get to finish it.
But it does not come back as anything that has to do with her. Earlier, he talks about them being alike in their like fearlessness and such. So here we are getting to find out that she is willing to let this corruptible judge continue on his way.
As long as she can corrupt him too.
Yes, as long as she can be.
I'm devastated. I hate this.
Party to it. She then leaves town. Now, we didn't mention, but she is in town on this case as a favor, but also her marriage is just falling apart because her husband's off with a dental hygienist. We also didn't mention that there are random explosions in the background at various times that go unmentioned. That will get revealed, which Emily missed, but it's going to turn her opinion on the whole fucking show, everybody. Buckle up.
So, I can't wait.
She gets to the psychic's house, goes in. On the way up, she's like sneaking in. It's very weird. Also, we don't need to talk about it, but we're going to at least acknowledge for the future where Liz Vassie's skirt line's going to be, because once I checked and saw she was 5'9", they've got a very fucking horny costume guy, including like she wears skirts with slits in them for no fucking reason. We saw her undergarment in a scene. Like, it's very, we'll see, because she actually, one of her claims to fame is she complained about the her action figures bodily proportions.
Oh,
she no doubt made her lots of friends, but she has left Twitter. She did say on this interview that I read the transcript of, or a summary of the transcript of. So they're gonna bond after Leanne's like, hey, I was just talking to Wanda Gray. She left now. There was not a comment about why Liz Vassie could not see her. Thank Christ on the cross. Hey, you know what? That'll be on the Big Go card too, okay? That'll be on the Big Go card too. We got scantiliness, we got fucking casual, or not casual, we got racism, and then we'll have whether or not there's a joke about Wanda Grace disappearing due to some situation, and also Liz Vassie's skirt. So, and also, hey, just how many fucking attempted rapes there are in episode. This will be our bingo card. And short jokes for the dancing. Okay, so Liz Vassie's like, hey, I just want to let you know the judge didn't try to have you killed. The alligator was supposed to be dead. I'm like, was it? Because otherwise, was that the quid pro quo with the judge? Because, like, yeah. If this is a devil, because that's what he says, is she needs to get up to some devilment. If this is actually like her getting up to some devilment as the like potentially better show, but not from this production, like, no thank you. Then it will be like Free Spirit expressly, I will help you bury the bodies of the girls that you date rape. 12-year-old. Okay, so they bond because Liz Vassie's got a great aura, including after the dead alligator comment. So I assume that, like, I was like, okay, maybe it was supposed to be done. Leanne says the judge has got like a fiery orange one. I'm like, what does that mean? Leanne then has a vision, but she's actually seeing, Liz Vassie thinks she's having a vision, but she's actually seeing Liz Vassie's car get stolen off the highway, drives away. Sheriff shows up. She's like, where did cousin Jesse go? And she's like, out to the refinery. It's nephew Jesse. I don't know if his name's Jesse. It is Leon, I think, is the judge's nephew, who is an environmentalist and very passionate about car emissions. Okay, If this show ends with cousin Leon killing everybody in town because he finds out that they didn't vote for Nader, we'll talk. Maybe it's a great show. He steals cars, drives them out, blows them up so they can't pollute anymore. That is what the explosions have been in the background. Liz
Gotcha.
Bassey's fucking thrilled because she has a last year's Bronco that her piece of shit husband is off fucking the dental hygienist in while he pretends to be on a business trip. And that was his piece of shit classic car. Fuck him. Sam Robards is going to drive her back to Miami. She's maybe coming back to town now once she gets stuff settled in Miami. If they pick up this show, which, because 1998 was filled with a bunch of people at Disney enabling Harvey Weinstein's rapes, they did.
So thank you for finishing that off for me. I did not have time to watch the last 5 to 7 minutes.
Is this going to be one of those seasons where you?
No, I promise I will watch the whole one next time. Speaking of next time, episode 2 next week. I do not like the title of this. It's called Wanderlust. It's a portmanteau of the child's name and the word lust. That does not sit well with me. Yeah, great. So Andrew, thank you for watching. Folks, thank you for listening. Andrew, I will see you in television land.
Emails to Mr. Emily at onesieспod.com. See you in television land, Emily.